was the only president in decades who didn't start a war. Instead, I got us out of wars and endless wars. And one of the wars I got us out of was a war against ISIS. We defeated ISIS. It was supposed to take 4 years, and I got it done in 4 weeks. Would you say that's good? Because we have the greatest military on earth. We have the greatest leaders, but not the guys on television. Not the ones on television. I'm the only candidate who can make this promise to you. I will prevent World War III. I will prevent World War III.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, YAHAWAHSHI'S, Kwagadash, the honest apostles of GMS, and sincere Shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth and sincerity. And it's probably going to be a short video, but this is just to show you that these are the lies that they're willing to put out there. They'll try to throw some little factual things to make it seem like this is what's going to happen. But the real fact of the matter is that World War III is going to happen, and there's nothing these others can do, because all these guys are just spokesmen. That's all they set up to do. They're supposed to set up and do all these extra things, right? Now, these wars are always funded. These wars are always been funded. These are like stage setups sometimes, but then you'll actually get these other countries that's fed up with all this stuff that goes on. Like, especially since this is going to be the last World War, everybody's going to be ready for that. They're going to back out the dollar and everything else with it. They're going to go back to their own actual currencies. Or at least they actually will already have their currency, but but the value of the dollar of this society ain't going to mean nothing, right? I'm going to just start off with the scripture real quick. This is Psalms 55:21. It says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but what was in his heart?" Now, and I'm gonna show the next thing I want to go into, because this all ties with it. One thing a lot of people starting to catch on in this society is nothing. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but some people are starting to wake up to it. But that nothing is really real in this society, because you'll find out that you gotta go through a whole bunch of things to really get what you want. Now, I'm not into the whole politics thing. I kind of just keep up with the majority of things that kind of go on. But stuff like this, especially when it comes to when any type of wars, we know for a fact that when they start pumping out shows or video games, especially now since video games, they're pumping out a lot of war games, but a lot of shows that kind of go into stuff like this, you know that there's going to be actual war. Now, all he's doing is giving the false hope that there won't be no war. And I saw people in the comments like, "Yeah, go ahead and prevent World War III," and I'm like, these people don't understand that we're already in that mess, right? And we need that mess to happen to get out of this place. But the whole point is to make sure these people stay asleep. Because if people start panicking, you got a lot of people that will try to revolt or try to do some other stuff. But Esau needs his workers for the most part, right? And these until he's ready to say, okay, now it's time to hit the fan, right? So you look through, I don't know, say, actually all the recent things that's been going on, or just even look at the whole politician thing. You know, they full of lies. They tell all these pretty speeches and all this other stuff, but then turn around, you got more problems. They set them all these laws, but not for the actual people. These people, the laws actually hinder the people even more. But then you get all the law gurus out there and be like, "Oh, this should happen, this should happen, and that, and that." And it doesn't work that in that favor. Because who sets up these laws? The ones that's over your presidents, which would be your rats, right? People don't understand that anything that's being told that makes it sound like a good thing is actually really nothing but a big lie, right? So now it's quick to do backstab people. All right. So it says, and I found this article just for the funny part of it. This was last year, mind you. But it says all American presidents have lied. The question is why and when. Now, I was going to probably go look into each list of all that, but I leave that for everybody else to look up. I might even actually go into it one day. But the fact that people are writing articles about this shows that every president has lied, right? So I'm gonna skip down to the main point I want to go to, which is right here. So it says the frequency of these critics would seem to indicate that most people do not want a president who lies, which, come to find out, if you're a land that runs off of lies, you're going to get a president that runs off of lies, just like mayors and governors and all this other stuff. Your job will lie to you sometimes, right? It says, and yet a recent study of presidential deception found that all American presidents from Washington to Trump have told lies. And of course, Biden, but we can't even count him. That man has dementia. He don't even know what's the truth or the lies. It says, and knowingly so, in their public statements, the most effective of presidents have sometimes been effective precisely because they were skilled at manipulation and deception. And see, the one thing you know how they do it is when they doing the whole running for the elections, they gotta make up a speech that appeases the people, right? And that's how they get in, even though it's by electoral votes. But the fact that they're taught how to be manipulators says volume, right? Because just like laws, they're manipulated to benefit who it needs to benefit. It's not to benefit these people, though some people can actually work the law to some of their systems. But the ones that really work some laws, of course, the rats, but also lawyers. They're the ones that can find the loopholes. That's why you gotta go to school to be a lawyer to find out that stuff. Lawyers, just like actors make good liars. They can act their butts off, and you'll find out they're just as good as liars. So for a society that was built and ran off of lies and blood, you think what makes you think anything changed? Right? Just like your school curriculums. It's all a lie. You get out of school and find out none of this stuff is real. Look at what your parents had to tell you about Christmas, Santa coming out of the chimney, or coming down our chimney to give you presents. Where's your chimney? How does that even work? Right? So everything that we was told was always a lie. That's why we watch out for these things. As we go into Ezekiel 3:17, where it says, "Be ye watchmen." What are you watching for? Everything at this point. And if you don't see it, you run into it, you'll find out, and boom, now you know how to watch for the next thing. We all live and learn from that, right? So you can you can read between the lines between any of this stuff, and you find out that you can't trust anything, right? Because every so the fact that they're trying to lie to make you make these people feel comfortable, and they never fall for it every time, because it's all about variety to these people. It's either Trump, Biden, or Obama, or any other stuff, right? People fall real in line to that stuff, right? But they're not falling in line for what's about to actually happen, right? They're not prepared for what's going to happen. They're not prepared that World War III is actually going to happen. Who was prepared for the first two world wars? Who was prepared for those? Because last I checked, with those world wars, you had people that would sign up for it, but you also had what? Drafts. And the people that was drafted didn't want to go in there, but they had to. It was either that or you be in prison, or you had to run to what was it, Canada, to escape. But now they talking about that that's not even going to save them because now Canada is aligned with America's laws, saying that you can come up here if you want, but you still have to serve that military. Now I'm not sure if they actually full on went through that, so I had to relook into that again. But that's the last thing I heard, basically. So no matter what happens, no matter what they say, the prophecies are still prophecies. You can't get rid of prophecies. You can't finagle no way out of it. It's going to happen. So this is Joel 3:2. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. Let me stop there because I was supposed to stop sooner. But it said the Lord will gather all nations. And looks what happening. You got Russia bucking up. You got China bucking up. All these other nations, they ready. You got Israel. You got the fake Israel and Hamas thing going on. So everybody's pissed off. Yeah, right. So you're going to have everybody coming up ready for this war. That's why I said that the Lord is going to gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh's judgment, right? And will plead with them there for my people, and that plead is nothing good. It's talking about that bringing destruction for his people and for his heritage Israel, right? So no matter what like I said, no matter what they say, that war is happening. We already been in it. We're just waiting for the actual final blow of that call to say, yeah, we in it now. And watch how many people being so much distress behind it. People gonna be in distress behind that mess. But we want it to happen so we get out of this place. But I just want to do a quick video on that. So Lil Willem, this is a little edifying with that. Shalom.